Fantasy Junkies, it's Jesse. I'm so psyched to be here right now at the Vikings draft party. Of course, a little bit anticlimactic because the Vikings do not have a first-round pick this year because we have traded for Jared Allen, which that means that the day is great before it even gets started. But with that said, Jared Allen has already been in the house this morning interviewing with Paul Allen. We were able to get some footage of that.
I just can't wait for the season to begin. We go get out there and cheer for our team. Minnesota Vikings, go!
Ziggy Wilf made it happen. Jared Allen's one of us. And we welcome you to the 2008 Miller Lite Minnesota Vikings draft party.
But right now, the draft is just kicking off. The Dolphins have officially made their first pick, which we knew already. They picked the big offensive tackle from Michigan, Jake Long, and now the number 2 pick is coming soon, very soon, and we're yet to see what that's going to turn out for. The Rams are going to be making that second selection, so stay close. So Jeff and Jesse, psyched to be at the draft party. It's taking a little bit to get in, get rested, right up here in the front, right where testosterone should be, Jeffrey. Nice job with the media credentials.
Oh yeah, we worked it out, man. Well, we haven't missed anything. We were able to see the first pick of the draft. Now, technically the first pick of the draft we knew about a week ago. It was right. Jake Long by the Miami Dolphins. But now the second pick has happened, and Chris Long, excellent defensive end and son of Hall of Famer Howie Long, goes to the Rams. Jesse, your initial takes on that pick?
Well, really no surprises here for me, Jeff. As I looked at this draft for the last couple weeks, I was thinking one way or the other it was going to be the 2 Longs going first. Maybe a flip-flop there one way or the other, but no real surprise to me here. I think Chris Long is going to be a great playmaker. As you said when we talked about it in the pre-draft prep, this will keep Adam Carricker inside, and really it starts to give the Rams a pass rush, which they really have lacked of late.
Yeah, that's right. Adam Carricker, the 2007 first-round draft pick by the Rams. They used him at defensive tackle as they were aging on the ends. They bring in Chris Long, who gives them a real nice speed rush off the edge.
Right.
And they're going to need that in order to put pressure on the opposing quarterback. It works well because Carricker really fits down low, and I think that Chris Long will be a good pro for a long time. A real blue-chip prospect, in my opinion.
So now the real intrigue starts to happen, in my opinion, here at the number 3 pick, because we're looking at the Falcons and we're wondering what they're going to do with this pick. They've got a lot of needs. A lot of people think they need quarterback, and Matt Ryan would certainly fit. Jeff, do you see him going in that direction? Or is Glenn Dorsey, the big lineman, just too hard for them to pass up?
Well, I know that they need Glenn Dorsey in a major way. Their defensive line could use a big, beefy player like that. Everything that I've heard today and prior to today has been that Glenn Dorsey's knee isn't quite right, and teams are worried that since he's going to have surgery before training camp, will he be able to really come in right away? Also, Arthur Blank, the owner from the Falcons, has been looking for the face of his franchise and a way also to get away as fast as possible from the Michael Vick debacle. So of course, Matt Ryan really makes sense here. I'll be interested to see what happens because they could go either way.
Well, we thank you for joining us here in our draft coverage. Stay around, there's a lot left to come. We're excited to be with you on NFL Draft Day 2008.
The Atlanta Falcons select Matt Ryan.
So the first round of the draft this year, Jeff, really moving at a fast pace. The NFL has made the draft a little more fan-friendly and has moved the length of time that the teams have down to 10 minutes. So it's rapid fire here, man, but we now know the Falcons have selected quarterback Matt Ryan from Boston College. What do you think about that pick?
Well, I really like Matt Ryan. I think he's a smart quarterback coming out of Boston College, a very good program there for quarterbacking. He fits a real need for this team, who's really struggled to find a replacement for Michael Vick, who they suddenly lost prior to last season. So I think this is a pick for need and a good pick for value too, as the Falcons are able to get a high quality and a high character player in Matt Ryan who can fill the seats as well.
Yeah, exactly. This guy is going to be the face of their franchise, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Jeff, when you talked about Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, really wanting to put the Michael Vick thing behind him. distance himself from that. Now you start to see the Falcons bringing in some playmakers on offense, and that's really where this team needs to start to rebuild from. They added Michael Turner this offseason too, so when you look at those two guys, that's a lot more skill in your offensive backfield right away.
Yeah, that's right, and the receiving core has been coming around of late. You know, last year we saw Roddy White pretty much break out onto the scene as a third-year wide receiver, and he's going to continue to get better, and as soon as Matt Ryan can get in there and work out the chemistry there, I think that there could be some positivity on offense for the Falcons. It's the defense now that's a big question, so we're going to want to take a look and see what they do in the later rounds at defense.
Well, the next big question is, what will Al Davis, the owner of the Raiders, do with the number 4 pick? Everybody's waiting on pins and needles, waiting with bated breath. Will he take Darren McFadden, or will they go a different direction? There's been some speculation that they really like Vernon Golston, the pass-rushing outside linebacker, D-end hybrid from Ohio State.
Yeah.
If you're a Raiders fan right now, Jeff, what are you hoping will happen for the Raiders?
Well, I'll tell you what, the thing that I heard this morning, Jay Glazer reported that if Glenn Dorsey were to fall to number 4, that the Jets were going to do everything they can to swap the number 6 pick and some consideration for the number 4 to move up. Now the Jets just traded Dwayne Robertson for a 2009 later round conditional pick to the Broncos, and earlier in the offseason they traded Jonathan Vilma to the Saints, so their defense has really got a hole in the middle of it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Jets take the opportunity to move up here and nab Glenn Dorsey with the number 4.
Yeah, there's some nice players available right here, and it's very out of character for the Raiders to consider moving down, but we've heard recent quotes from Raiders head coach Lane Kiffin that might be what they're talking about doing. So the Raiders are under the gun here. Their franchise has a lot of different needs. Let's see whether they stand pat and pick a player, or let's see whether they trade down. It's been a lot of fun so far, and keep it coming because the NFL draft has just begun.
Free technique, and we're going to find out, guys.
Nobody's on the phone. Nobody is on the phone, but the commissioner needs to turn it right.
Now we have to be quiet so if they don't.
With the 4th pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Darren McFadden, running back for Arkansas.
Okay, well the number 4 pick has gone off the board. The Oakland Raiders select Arkansas running back Darren McFadden. He goes to a team that has a pretty good running game as it is. They need to work on their offensive line. Some people thought they needed defense there, trade rumors, but Jesse, tell me what you think about the Darren McFadden pick.
I mean, Al Davis is an owner that I've been very critical of late, Jeff. The Raiders organization has seemed lost from a leadership standpoint. I was hoping for the betterment of the league that the Raiders would make a smart pick here. They're already loaded at running back. They've got a lot of players at that position, but the measurables of Darren McFadden were just too much for Al Davis. I think he had a big boner over Darren McFadden, and they picked a guy, honestly, I don't think they needed.
Well, I'll tell you that they spent a lot of money on their defense over the early part of the offseason. They gave money to Tommy Kelly and a couple other players, a lot of different contracts that were very large and lucrative for those players. So as far as defensive line goes, they don't really need a whole lot of help there. I know they lost Ward after retirement, but I think that the main reason why this happened is because Chris Long went early, and then they had to choose between Glenn Dorsey, which isn't a need for them, or McFadden, who's going to put fans in the seats.
I'm really surprised that they didn't go with Vernon Golston. He's a guy that Al Davis was rumored to be really hot after, but they go the different way, so we'll have to see what happens next as the Chiefs are up at 5.
You're watching Testosterone Sports.
A tackle from Boston College. He goes to the Detroit Lions, 7th overall pick.